Did you ever envisage when you walked out and all that, the fight that manifested itself, the outcome, the reaction, that the next situation you're going to find yourself is in this remarkable... I always make this case because people keep talking about Anthony Joshua, and we'll talk about it briefly in a second, that everyone says everything about boxing, all the stadium fights were because of Anthony Joshua. And I go, well, hang on.
Wait a minute.
Hang on. You know, there were other stadium fights. Ricky fought in other fights, but Carl fought George Groves at Wembley in front of 80,000 fans, and they all take the piss out of you.
Is that how many was there? Was
Carl talks about that every time. Tony Bellew says, you've never heard this from Carl, he never mentions it. So they all throw that in as a Mickey take.
Yeah, well, listen, it's the biggest fight post-war in British boxing history.
Oh, well, no, it was
80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
And it needs to be acknowledged. And just because I told Floyd Mayweather about it, tongue-in-cheek, I had a bit of a crack with him because Adam Smith said, right, you get to ask Floyd Mayweather one question. I think he was fighting Conor McGregor.
Okay.
I'm like, yes, sir.
Right.
I'm Carl Froch.
Absolutely right. Good for you.
I still had a bit of attitude then. Yeah. So I said, listen, Floyd, when I boxed George Groves at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 fans, I chopped down a few trees myself because I would just watch the VT of him like chopping logs with his axe. So I just made this story about chopping wood, but made sure that when I was asking him a question, I talked about myself and about Wembley. So that kind of went quite viral, but that was a genuine me having the laugh and having the wind up.
Does it annoy you that people take the mickey out of it?
No, I love it because they're still talking about it, they're still getting wound up about it. So, and Eddie Hearn will back me up because I said to Eddie right before I spoke to Floyd Mayweather, I went, right, listen to this, make sure you get this. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Don't do anything stupid. I went, I'm going to talk about Wembley and that. And he was like, yeah, go on, that would be great. So I did it. So it was all preempted. But it was a great...
You were different in that build-up. When the gloves are off was a fact. I think that's one of the best gloves are off that I've seen. And I've seen some interesting ones, you know, with, whether it's Dillian White and Derek Chisora being called a donkey or whatever else, right? But that was an interesting one because it was just implied menace, basically. I thought, foolishly, as a result of the first fight, that George would win the second fight until I saw the gloves are off. And I thought, yeah, okay, there's a different Carl Froch on offer here. There's a different mentality. It's not like David Hay, although this was later, not getting wound up by Tony Bellew. This is someone that's very just, okay, okay, fine. I'll take the brick back to the first one. Yeah. I'll let you have your moment in the sun.
Yeah.
But this is reality now.
Yeah. When I got the rematch, and it took, you asked me how long did it take to realise you had to have a rematch. It was like 48 hours because I thought, I'm not fighting him again. I've got him done now. I was thinking to myself, fuck him. I'm not fighting him again. He's had his day. He's had his chance. He gave me everything he's got.
Yeah.
He knocked me down. He couldn't finish the job.
He had his chance, yeah.
Too good for him. I'll move on. I'll get something else. And actually, there was nothing else really to go for. There was nothing as big. For me, it was like, I can't retire now.
Yeah, with that
being my last fight, with people going to go through the rest of my life now if I retire.
And diminish everything else you've done by association.
Yeah. He was lucky you got robbery there. Yeah. I've got to set the record straight. I've got to fight him. But more so than that as well, to just solidify and make it concrete that it's definitely going to happen. The conversation with Eddie Hearn about it being at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
Well, Wembley Stadium, really? Wow. But this really has caught the public's imagination. And the press didn't just go on for a day or two. It went on for 2 or 3 weeks.
No, I remember.
And then when the fight got announced, I mean, I was in Dubai with my family, just relaxing, having a bit of a break. So I didn't get a chance to go away with my kids much and have a family holiday. And I was out there with Rachel and the kids. And Eddie Hearn was ringing my hotel room non-stop. And I was sick of him ringing me. And I had a conversation with him, saying, listen, he's mandatory now. Yeah, he's gone out to wherever he's gone to get it sanctioned and become mandatory again. We want mandatory. It was like rank number 5. But they said, no, immediate rematch because of the stoppage. He'd gone out to Mexico or something to see the IBF and sat there and watched the video of the fight, the stoppage. And they'd said, yeah, you deserve a rematch. So he got the rematch.
Yeah.
I was like, good, that's good news.
Fair play to him.
It's great. It's going to be Wembley. It's massive. And I'm going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
So all I had to do in the rematch
was be
trained properly.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been any worse prepared for the first one. I couldn't have been so bad attitude, like I said I had earlier, and I was stupid on the build up. I didn't give him enough respect, and I had an overinflated opinion of myself. And you still got to want it for the right reasons. And this rematch was going to set the record straight for me.
Was it the ultimate satisfaction for you? The manner in which you dealt with it. That was it. That was the job done. I have laid this one to rest. No one can debate this one. I've cleaned him out. There he is.
Well, it was such a conclusive finish, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
that was down to the preparation. And yeah, to answer your question, when when I rendered him unconscious in front of 80.
I know you like to say that, Carl.
80,000
I've heard you say it many times.
I think he was asleep before he hit the
Yeah.
canvas because his leg just folded in half. His foot was wrapped around his ear hole at one stage, and the referee just immediately waved it off. But when that punch landed, I knew he wasn't going to get up, and he did get up. He didn't beat the count, but he stood up and then he
Yeah, there
stumbled
wasn't
into his
much left
corner.
of him, was there?
But the right hand couldn't have hit him any harder, any more flush. If I'd have said to George Groves, right, stand there, don't move, I'm going to punch you in the face as hard as I can, and he stood there and didn't move, and I had the time to just line it up,
That was the
I
purpose.
wouldn't have been able to hit him any harder.
Yeah.
I couldn't have hit him any harder because I threw a little fake, he reacted, I
throwaway
threw
left.
a left hook, throwaway left hook, which got my body over to my right-hand side. Then I was able to transfer the weight from my right thigh, push it in from the calf, right up through the body, and boom, it landed right on the end of
Such relish you say it with,
Mate,
Carl.
his
Such
chin
relish.
just, his head was gone. He was asleep.
Yeah.
And for that to be my final punch of what was an amazing career,
And that was it for you.
for
That
all
was
them
it.
people that went, that was it,
Yeah.
definitely. And I only thing I regret about retiring and doing it was not telling Rob McCracken earlier,
Right.
because I'd already made my mind up. But I kind of didn't want to tell Rob, but maybe I had this fear of telling him. And not wanting to tell him, I didn't want to let him down, or I wanted to have the conversation with him and agree with him that I'm going to retire, because I could never see myself retiring from boxing. I loved the sport for so long. I enjoyed boxing. I'd had a fantastic career, and I didn't really want to hang the gloves up. I didn't want to end it. But before that fight happened, before the rematch was made, I'd already decided that I wasn't going to fight again. And I actually interviewed Rob a couple of days ago in Sheffield for my YouTube channel.
You interviewed
Froch
him,
on
did you?
Fighting.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I interviewed him.
I've seen it.
You seen it?
I've watched it. I've seen
You
and
enjoy
George.
it, don't you?
You do very good. I enjoy Carl without again wanting to be overly sycophantic, which doesn't sit well with me. I watch a lot of the things you do and enjoy most of the things you do, mate.
Thank you. I
Your
appreciate
punditry
that.
included.
But he said to me on that, which I didn't know, it was a bit of a revelation for me. He says, I knew you was going to retire after that fight, before it. I says, how did you know? He says, because you was coming in fight week and you was smiling and you was walking. Usually you're quite angry and you're quiet and you don't want to talk to anybody. He says, but you was overly happy and smiley and you wasn't your normal self. He said, but in a good way. He was nice to be around, which you're not usually nice to be around on fight week. And you were smiling, enjoying yourself, and you just enjoyed everything about the Wembley fight because you'd done all the training, you were super fit, and you'd also speaking to a guy called Chris Marshall, who was a sports psychologist, and he'd got my head straight. He'd separated the logic from the emotion and told me what the amygdala does, and I got a little bit of scientific sort of insight into the brain. And because I understood why I was getting wound up, and I understood why I was feeling emotional, I was able to just control it, and I use it now in everyday life with my wife and with my children.
Yeah, it's a good
I'm able
tool.
to just focus and meditate.